like we're doing with Habitat, in a lot of places you have density that pushes back against that. So there's cottage court, duplex, fourplex, townhouses. I think those are sort of the main ones, is that it's essentially anything that has sort of 2 to 16 units in it.
Okay.
It's wonderful. All right, we've reached that time, Marianne, where we like to ask all of our Carey Bros Pros guests to share 3 points for success with our pro listeners. And now it's your turn.
Great. Well, I would say when you're looking at the size of a home specifically, think about who's going to live in it and ask what really matters. How do they eat their meals? Where do they, how do they engage in the space? And that will lead to an understanding of the spaces that matter. Ask them, what spaces do you use in your current home? A lot of people, like I've talked to people that move into some of my homes, and they're not tiny, not all of them. I have a 1,600 square foot house that I designed, but a woman had moved into it from a 3,500 square foot house. And when she had gone through and actually paid attention to the space she lived in, of the 3,500, it was only 1,600. So she easily moved into the smaller home, knowing that she didn't need the number. She just needed the spaces. And so that's really important in looking at smaller spaces to understand how you're going to use it. And then on the bigger picture, what other building types might add value where you can build more units in a smaller amount of space and meet more affordable housing needs.
Wow. I tell you, I so enjoyed this exchange with you. You have so much to offer, and I'm looking at your website, which, by the way, is marianne-cusato.com, where there is all sorts of terrific information that our audience can take advantage of, including your book, The Just Right Home.
Buying, renting, moving, or just dreaming, find your perfect match. That's a pretty good subtitle. You can learn more about Marianne and her many, many projects on her website at marianne-cusato.com. That's marianne-cusato.com.
Thanks for joining us, Marianne.
Great. Thank you so much.
And don't worry if you couldn't write it all down. We've got it posted at the podcast notes for this episode at our website. It is CareyBrosPros.com.
Okay, everybody, loosen up those tool belts and relax. It's time for a quick bro tip from the Carey brothers.
Experienced contractors know that work isn't always going to be easy to find. For example, when the economy takes a dump, construction businesses soon begin to fail and go broke. A slow economy almost immediately becomes a buyer's market. When a buyer's market prevails, contractors who once found work easy to get find out that getting work isn't so easy after all. This is because when consumers have a choice, they choose contractors from those with the best reputations. The most common complaints made by consumers about contractors are always the same. I made 10 calls and only 2 contractors responded. The contractor came to my home and promised me a bid, and I never heard from him again. The contractor gave me a price on the back of his business card and didn't explain what he was going to provide for the money. The contractor began the job, got a big payment, and then disappeared. Sloppy is as sloppy does. If you aren't responsive to a consumer's needs when times are good, you will gain a bad reputation that will follow you when times are slow. Lack of common courtesy may not slow you down in good times, but it will beat you down in bad times. Conversely, having a good reputation means lots more work in bad times. Remember, remodel and repair contracting requires more than just being good at your trade. You must also be good with people. People skills like kindness, understanding, patience, and consideration are extremely important to the preponderance of customers. Be good at your trade and be considerate of your customers and potential customers, and you will earn a good reputation. And when times get tough, you will have a better chance of surviving a bad economy. Learn to think long term.
Well, that's our podcast for today. Thanks for listening to this edition of CareyBrosPros, the podcast for construction professionals by construction professionals. Want more? Check out CareyBrosPros.com. You'll find articles and videos to help make your business a success.